Welcome to another episode of Ask Dr. J. We have two guests today, Bill
Hello.
and Professor Kim, Haesun Kim. Would you briefly introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Haesun Kim, and I teach Korean language and pop culture at Pennsylvania Altoona.
Mhm. Today we're going to talk about this English adjective, happy. Happy in English has many different meanings, right? Bill, you're the expert in
I
talking
suppose.
about being happy.
Okay. I guess so.
Yeah. When do we use this adjective happy in English? Just give us a
So
few examples. It doesn't have to be a comprehensive, thorough.
the basic one, I guess, is about talking about joy, elation of some sort. That's what most people would think of when they hear happy. So like, I'm happy to finally graduated, right? It's a state. I'm
Mhm.
long term. I'm pleased about it. We also have, greetings, happy to see you. You may not actually be happy or not, but if you're actually your friend, you'd probably be at least a little happy.
Mhm.
Um, you can also express what we say a lot, like with a sense of being satisfied about something. You say, I'm happy with your work. I'm happy with what you've done here at this company or
Mhm.
whatever. They are probably not happy in the sense of joy, but they're happy in the sense of satisfied, or I'm happy to do it. You may not actually want to, but you're willing to do it for somebody.
Mm.
And so there's a lot of uses for happy, and not all of them are related to joy or elation, but that's the basic, typical understanding.
Yeah, there are lots of these different meanings associated with this very generic word happy. Depending on the context, you can use it and mean something entirely different.
Right.
So thank you for that brief explanation. I mean, there are some of these words too. I mean, happy is not the only word we can use to express these feelings.
Right.
I mean, you used some of these adjectives earlier, right?
Yeah.
Like glad, delighted, you know, being content,
Right.
willing, lucky, fortunate, those types of things.
Mhm.
So we have our expert in Korean here, Professor Kim. Do we have anything that's comparable to this adjective happy?
Yeah, I can think of three things. The first one will be 반갑다,
Mm-hmm.
and second one is 기쁘다,
Mm-hmm.
행복하다.
Mm-hmm.
These are three things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as you know, in Korean, it's a very context-based language.
Mm-hmm.
We have a formal ways of addressing using the
Mm-hmm.
such as 반갑다,
Mm-hmm.
반갑습니다,
Mm-hmm.
기쁘다, 기쁩니다,
Mm-hmm.
행복하다, 행복합니다.
Mm-hmm.
And then the casual ways, polite ways. And,
Yeah, the usage varies depending on when you use it in the context of the first person, third person. You can also even use the verb. I mean, 반갑다, 기쁘다, 행복하다. These are all verbs, right?
those are
But right, but then you can also use it as an adjective depending on how you modify them, right? Pretty much.
oh, I think we need to correct. So
Okay,
verbs,
go ahead. Yeah.
then they are action verbs, meaning describing action.
Mm-hmm.
But emotions, feelings, those are adjectives.
Mm-hmm.
반갑다, 기쁘다, 행복하다, those are adjectives in Korean, but
Oh,
most
that's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. 반갑다 is an adjective as it is.
Right.
기쁘다. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
hard for when we talk about it in English, because in English our adjectives are not verbs at all. Like they
Mm-hmm.
don't get conjugated. You know, we don't say he happies. Whereas Korean, 행복해, it's not 행복한 at the end of the sentence, right? So in Korean, it does conjugate the same way a verb would. Like 필요해 is in English, I need, but in Korean, it's an adjective, and so it can get confusing.
Oh, that's a great point. I never thought about it that way.
It's very
But yeah.
So
Yeah,
필요한다
Korean
would be
is very
wrong.
heavy language. Yes.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking more like an English speaking person.
Ooh.
If we
Because
don't,
I said it's a verb, right?
we don't really have ways of describing that linguistic thing.
Mhm.
We don't do that in English.
Yeah. So in terms of 반갑다, right? I know, like Bill, you were in Korea for how many years? 3 years?
3 years.
Yeah. How many times did you use the word 반갑다?
Well, so all the time, and expressions when you say like set expressions, like it's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all the time. Like
So
반갑습니다.
you say 반갑습니다 all the time.
Right, or 반가워요.
반가워요. So like when you run into a person, you would say 반가워요.
If would I? I frequently, only when I was just meeting them for the first time, really.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like if I run into my friend, I would say 반가워, 반갑다, right?
But when you see the person not for the first time, maybe for the people meeting for the first time, when you see once in a while, then you want to say, "Oh, 반가워요," meaning
Right. So that's a little more context there. But I guess when you're meeting a person for the first time, you would say something like 만나서 반갑습니다. 만나서. Yeah. So nice to meet you, basically. Yeah. In this case, I guess it's more like nice, right?
nice to see you, happy to.
Yeah. Happy to see you, nice to see you, those types of things. So you use it a lot. I mean, that's how I feel, this word. And then 기쁘다 is the same way, right? I mean, you're using it very often. Maybe throughout every day, you use the word 기쁘다.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you are reacting, you're responding to a situation or event. So
Yeah.
you're happy.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things, at least for me in my experience, I would say that when I said 반갑다, it was more formal and almost always saying 반갑습니다 or 반가워요. Whereas 기쁘다, it would be more like 너무 기뻐, like it would be more casual situations to say it because I'm talking with my friends about how happy I am about something that we're doing. And usually I wouldn't be saying 기뻤습니다 because I wouldn't be talking about that with my professor. I could say it, but I probably wouldn't be. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah, I agree. The Bill described just that is how it's used.
Yeah, 기뻤습니다, it's more like a past tense, right?
Yeah, or in anything.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't think I'd be talking. I mean, you might, of course, but
Let's say you just heard from this university somewhere telling you just got accepted to this PhD program, you'll say 기뻐요, right?
yeah, I would.
Yeah.
If I was speaking to but if I'd be speaking with my friends about it, right? You know, they would say, "Oh, I just got accepted to this university. 너무 기뻐." Right? I mean, that would be. I wouldn't be.
기뻐 is more informal in
Right.
between friends. 기뻐요 is a little more polite expression.
Yeah. If I was speaking to you, I would say 기뻐요. But you're my friend too, of course.
Yeah. You and I cannot be friends in Korea.
Well, no, I would be speaking to you about something, but I would just use the polite way of
A
speaking.
good friend, yeah.
Yeah, but I would say if Bill got a really happy news from the university he's waiting for, I would say probably we would say, 정말 행복합니다.
Yeah.
More like a
Elated, yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Right. If I were talking to an email, if I were responding to that acceptance in Korean, that's why I would say 행복합니다, right? Okay.
Yeah. So let's do a quick exercise now. And the exercise is about this sports commentator and broadcaster talking about upcoming news regarding a future endeavor by the 신세계 handball team. So 신세계, this is a real team, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are department store and
yeah,
sponsor
yeah, yeah,
professionally.
yeah. So, Professor Kim, would you mind reading? I guess I'll read the 해설, which is just an explanation, overall explanation of what's going on. 더욱 반가운 것은 이번 2연패를 계기로 신세계에서 여자 실업팀을 창단하는 소식이 들어와 있네요.
That's too fast.
That's what it's like.
That's probably what they would say. Yeah.
The reality. So I'll read it a little more slowly. 예, 더욱 반가운 것은 이번 2연패를 계기로 신세계에서 여자 실업팀을 창단한다는 소식이 들어와 있네요.
그렇군요. 정말로 기쁜 소식이 아닐 수 없습니다.
So Bill, this is a challenge for you. Can you find the instances where we're using the adjective happy in the conversation?
And so in both of these sentences, our happy is an adjective in front of the noun, not at the end of the sentence. So we have 반가운 것 in the first sentence, and we have 기쁜 소식 in the second sentence.
Mm-hmm. So how are they being used? 반가운 것.
Well, so this one, I think we can have an interesting discussion about it because we talked about it before. It's for me, it's clear what's going on with 반가운 것 because this is news, or it's not news. Okay, so it is news, but it's something that's a thing got, and it's making this person pleased, right? More happy or more pleased about something. And in the same way, at least to me, that meeting someone, 만나서 반가웠어, right, or something like that, something has happened, and I'm a little happier. So that's what I see out of got in this one. But the second one is a bit confusing to explain because 기쁘다 is like an emotional state of happiness. But 소식 does not have an emotional state. It's news. It doesn't have emotions. And so it becomes a little bit more difficult to explain, at least for me, why it would be 기쁜 소식 and not 반가운 소식.
But like, isn't it the same way in English? I mean, we say happy news, right?
We do.
Right? So news is not, a person, but we say happy news.
Well, okay, but then why is 반가운 소식 wrong?
반가운 소식? It's not wrong. Yeah. So that's also happy news.
More formal addressing the actual state of this mind. So for me, if I hear the news for the first time, and then you come somehow feel a lot happier with the news. I would say, 기쁜 소식. Your happiness into it. And this particular expression, so we have a 반가운 것, so it's a noun modifying adjective, 반가운. 것 is news, right? And then 기쁜 소식. So grammatically, they are the same expression. 반가운 것.
Would you say that it's uncommon to say 더 기쁜 것은?
Yeah.
더 기쁜 것은? Yeah.
Emphasizing it. Yeah. 더 기쁜 소식.
You can do that.
These two examples, it would be okay to switch them. You could switch them in both scenarios. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. So you did well. 100%.
Oh, thank you. Not a very hard one, but
I see.
Yeah, so the difference is that in Korean, the adjective is standing alone expression, and then we are using more adjective expressions. So translating that into English, it's somehow it is mental block. Oh, this is adjective. Can I say it? But Koreans just naturally use it as like a verb.
So anything you want to say about happy, this adjective, in terms of the usage in Korean? Because I mean, you have your first person experience being in Korea, and I'm thinking that you've seen or hearing, I mean, you've heard people using the adjective all the time,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
I mean, for a lot of these types of things,
Mm-hmm.
especially with emotions, realistically, the best way to, I don't think I'm particularly good at choosing between them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it would be to just get used to scenarios where people are talking about their
Mm-hmm.
emotions, reading blog posts, or maybe watching um, you know, videos of people
Mm-hmm.
reacting or discussing things in
Mm-hmm.
Korean, because then you can see them and you know the situation, and you'll see which emotion they chose. Because it is tricky. If you were to
Mm-hmm.
explain something in English, when to say happy or glad, the
Mm-hmm.
rules of it are probably extremely confusing. But once you understand which emotions they're talking about, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to think about it anymore. You might say it wrong from time to time or wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but you might say something awkward from time to time, but you'll know more or less what the emotion is, and that's the point of learning these words. I would say, at least.
Yeah, so to me, 반갑다, it's more formal greeting setting,
Mm-hmm.
and 기쁘다 is more personal, emotional status, and
Hmm.
행복하다 is more literal, written text format. That's how I differentiate it. Like, for example, if Penn State won Big Ten championship, what expression would you use? Yeah.
If who won?
If Penn State won Big Ten championship.
Well, I guess I'd probably say Kipada, but I could be wrong.
기쁩니다.
Yeah, would you agree, or is that wrong?
I wouldn't say
No,
반갑습니다.
I would not say that.
Yeah.
It's so exciting news.
Right.
기쁜, 정말로 기쁜 소식.
Oh, okay. See, there we go. I got that one right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you can say 반가운 소식, happy news, right?
Oh, that kind of lessen the excitement to
Oh,
me.
반가운 소식?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm confused too. I don't know. I'm Korean too.
But it's very subjective expression, right?
Mhm,
Definitely.
mhm, yeah. But in between 반갑다, 기쁘다, 행복하다, I mean, there are a lot of situations where you can use these adjectives exchangeably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are the first person point of view. If we're talking the
Mhm,
third person, we
mhm,
have that 하다. So 반갑다,
mhm,
반가워하다,
mhm,
하다, 기뻐하다,
mhm,
하다, 행복해하다.
mhm,
Yeah.
Is the form.
mhm,
Tricky.
mhm. But you can use the words pretty well.
Yeah.
Bill?
Me? I
Yeah.
mean, I'm okay. No, I think that was really hard. That was really hard to get used to whenever you're speaking about a third person. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're so happy, right? Or
Yeah.
that you're talking somebody else. They met. You say that person 그게 만나서
Mhm,
반가워했어요 or
mhm,
했습니다.
mhm,
That's strange to me. That was very strange to me to get used to that, because we don't have that in English at all. We can just say that person was happy to meet you,
mhm,
right, or whatever. But in Korean, you have to say 반가워했다 or
mhm.
반가워하다, which is a bit odd to me.
You have to use different, yeah, forms.
So there are like a couple of verb that is used as an auxiliary verb. 하다
Mhm,
is one, 되다 is one, and 보다 is one. So
mhm.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add, Professor Kim, before we stop?
So adjective happy can be said three different ways. So adjectives in Korean, they are used like a verb. So they don't need another verb to be by itself. It can be a complete sentence. So 나는 기쁘다 means I am happy. So adjectives are used to modify noun. In this case, 기쁘다 becomes 기쁜, so 기쁜 소식, happy news. So 행복하세요. Are you happy? So 행복하다 will change into 행복한 하루. So modifying 하루, a day. So next one is 만나서 반갑습니다. So 반갑다, happy. So this is the idiom saying nice to meet you. So 반갑다 in this case will become 반가운 친구, a friend that happy to see.
Okay, we had another, very interesting conversation today, and I want to thank Professor Kim and Bill for joining me to talk about this adjective happy in English.
Mhm.
See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.